Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody.
Whatever time of day it is.
Right.
Okay,
Hey, ladies.
12 o'clock somewhere.
right, okay, y'all. Look, this recording is being done on Veterans Day, so
That's
I
right.
pray you guys, whenever you hear this, that you are taking that time off. We had a recording about using your time to take care of you, right? So I
Mhm.
hope if you did have Veterans Day off, that you took the time off to acknowledge the veterans in your life or veterans period, right? To acknowledge them, because being a veteran, it does take sacrifice, right?
Yes.
You're sacrificing your time with your family, you are investing for the protection of this country, etc. So we want to say thank you to all veterans. I believe
Thank you.
Clivia have veterans in her family. I
Yes.
have veterans in my family. Miss Marcy, you either have them or know of a
Yes.
veteran, right?
Yes.
You work with a agency that probably has a few veterans in them, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yes. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, right. I mean, when I think about veterans, and especially those that have been in 30 years, what?
Mhm. Right.
What? Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Very so much.
So much. So, all right, y'all. Today, our first topic is balance. We're going to get into talking about balance today. And I'm looking down at my phone because I want to say this the way I gave it out, because I tend to paraphrase things. Balance, all aspect, balance in your life. Balance meaning juggling life's demands and um, expectations. So balance. When I hear balance, well, first of all, I didn't even introduce myself. I apologize, everybody. Hey y'all, my name is Kieran. I'm also known as the affirmation whisperer in these streets. My area of expertise is coaching and also being a women's empowerment speaker for women 45 and up, because sometimes we are at that point of restarting our second act because children are out of the house, or we are just home empty nesters, or we have become all of a sudden single, whatever the case may be. I am an expert. I am the SME, if you will, the subject matter expert on telling you how to kickstart your life and get back out there. I am
Love it.
also joined by two utterly amazing women. Miss Marcy of Marcy Moments. You can find
Hey,
her on Facebook.
Marcy.
She's our in-house mental health advocate. You can find her on Facebook, and make sure if you're not following her, make sure you follow her, because just about every morning she puts a post out called Marcy Moments. So encouraging, reminding you to step in that power that you have been given by our creators. So make sure you check her out. And finally, but not last but not least, Miss Clivia.
Hello,
Hashtag her
hello.
chosen story. Make sure you are following her as well. She is a publisher. She is a writer. She is a mother. She is a whole bunch more after that. I just don't remember all of it. That's how much she is. So thank you, ladies, for being here today and to join in on the conversation about balance. We have so much, and I just listed a few hats that you wear, Miss Clivia. When it comes down to balancing, whether you're single, you're married, with children, without children, because we are involved in this. Miss Marcy, most times her weekend, she's never home because she's got so many hats. She's running from one event to the other, making sure that she's showing up for those that she's made the commitment to. Myself, this past weekend, I was at an event and then started a new venture in my life and trying to make sure I still got all the other pieces going.
Mhm.
Realized I dropped a piece here, there, and everywhere. Balance,
Yeah.
balance, balance. It's so
Kron,
needed.
just
Yeah.
a moment.
Yes.
Even though you dropped the piece, but you gave yourself grace, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Thank
Good
you for
job.
interjecting
Right.
that. We don't beat ourselves up around here when
Listen.
when something is falling off the plate. And you know what? Sometimes it falls off the plate because it should have been on there in the first place.
Right. There you go.
Should have been
There
on
you
the first
go.
place.
You talking
Instead of
to me.
me moving it to another day or another time, I'm trying to squish. You know how you get your plates on certain holidays, and you're trying to
Mhm.
put all the food on one plate, and it's not enough room. Stuff start falling off. That would be that. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that, Ms. Marcy. But
Definitely.
yes, putting too much on the plate. And no, I did not beat myself up about it. I said, okay, well, now that it's been brought to my attention, let me handle the matter,
Mm-hmm.
give it the attention it needed, and give myself grace that it
Yeah.
happened. Okay, next time assess better and move on with life, because for one thing's for sure, how you manage what you believe to be a mistake is very important. When it comes down to juggling, and we are approaching very rapidly the holiday season of 2024 with Thanksgiving and Christmas and Kwanzaa and everything else that falls in there, balancing it all, running our businesses, going to work, making sure the children are on schedule, doctor's appointments, shopping if that's something you're doing, decorating. Like, it's the second week of November. I don't have a Thanksgiving anything in this house. And that's unusual for me. I usually have my house fully decked out by this time of the year. But I've had some other
Right.
things that just took priority for me. And I'm like, it's still Thanksgiving, whether I put up decoration or not. It's still going to be Thanksgiving. Fall. I put out a
Yeah.
fall wreath. I put out a fall mat because fall is my favorite time of the year. But it's still going to be fall, even if I don't put anything out, right?
Right.
Juggling, really assessing ourselves and deciding what is really important. My daughter often this time of the year will check in and she says, okay, mom, we're going to go wherever we're going for the holiday. Make sure you do some stuff ahead of time, because it's crazy how we do so much running around, even up to Christmas Eve, if that's something that you celebrate, or the day before Thanksgiving. They usually close the store a little earlier, and we got to get off work early because I got to go to the store and get this, and I got to go to the store and get that. When I'm
Yeah.
sure there was time we could have did it another time earlier, right? But no, we're gonna wait till the eve of to go and get this, that, and the third done. Juggling is important, and I shouldn't even say juggling, just making a choice. What's most important? Prioritizing, because juggling sounds anxious to me. It gives me stress when I say juggling. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
got to decide which one I'm going to
Right.
catch in the air, right? So juggling, I know we're not going to use juggling, just prioritizing, deciding what's most important. We have but one life to live,
Right.
and because we have just one life to live, deciding what's most important. Just because mama, grandmama, daddy, uncle, Sue, all those did it that way for them, do I have to do it that way?
Right.
Right,
So
Marcy? Do I
true.
have to do it
Right.
that way?
Right.
No. I
So
don't need
true.
to be running around here with like a chicken with my head cut off because everybody else before me did it. And that's what makes the holidays stop the madness. No, it doesn't.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Fall into
Just
mine.
stop it.
Yeah.
Find your own way of doing whatever, whether it's preparing for the holidays, whether it's rest, whether it's birthday parties, whatever it is, find a way to do it that works for you.
Yeah.
Works for you, because literally your one life. When you get to a point where okay, I think I'm at the door now. You don't want to look back and say, dang, man, I wasted so much time.
Yeah.
I wasted so much time trying to maintain traditions that meant nothing for me.
Yeah.
I was just doing it, right? Because everybody else did it. And I think I brought this up once before, the story about the ham shank or ham or something, where everybody was cutting the ends off of it, but nobody knew why grandma
Right.
auntie was
They
cutting
just,
the ends off. They
yeah.
just was doing it because everybody else was doing it. Y'all know what story I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it's because the darn pan was too small.
Yes. Yes.
There was nothing behind it, but nobody thought to
Right.
ask. Nobody thought to go, well, wait a minute, why do I have to cut it off? My pan is plenty big enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just cause.
Just
And
because.
that's where
Yeah.
the conversation we had a little bit earlier, we do things in I'll say each religion, just because they told us that's the way it is, but we have
Mm-hmm.
no historical background
We didn't research it
about it.
ourselves. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
there's several things, like now I'm unlearning. I'm unlearning a lot of things in
Oh, yes.
I'm
Christianity.
learning to
Mm.
learn. Yeah.
I'm unlearning it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want to learn something else.
Yes, unlearning is a perfect word to say, Miss Marcy, because that's exactly what we must do. We must unlearn those behaviors, those mindsets, the our thought process, right?
Mm-hmm.
I unlearn the way we were doing things, those thoughts, the modalities, the methodologies, whatever the G's are. We have to unlearn them because they don't serve us. They
Yes.
simply don't serve us. And I think about, oh my gosh, my mom probably won't be happy that I'm sharing this story, but I'm going to share it anyway. Um, Easter, many years ago, Easter, I made a determination I was not going to go out Easter shopping for my daughter and for my son because the more the closer we got to Easter, the more it just did not make sense for me to go to the store and buy these clothes for these children who are still growing. They're not going to be able to wear them in a few months or in 6 months or so. And for me to put that money, and I did not. She was not happy.
Mm.
She wasn't happy with me because the tradition is go
Yes.
get the nice spring
Pastel
dress,
color.
right?
Yeah.
And all the things for my son and for my daughter and for myself, right? You got to have the new this and the new that. It did not make sense for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So I didn't. We went to church still right on and had a glorious time without the new outfit.
Same God.
You know what? I remember one Easter, because I said, first of all, the Easter bunny didn't die for me. So first, yeah, let's get this, this Easter bunny out the
Right.
way. So I distinctly remember, thank you, K-Ron, I wore a pair of jeans, and this was before wearing jeans was cohesive and conducive to the church life now then. And it was an old, but I made sure I wore jeans. And my brother looked at me and was like, you know better. So guess what I did? I said, listen, excuse me, I ain't want to wear a new outfit. And the crazy thing about it is I always had new clothes in my closet. Always. So it wasn't like I could not have gone in my closet and picked something churchy out. But I did not want to. And I did it purposely.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I love this that everybody's chiming in because it goes back to balancing. It did not make sense for me. Ms. Marcy made a decision that, wait a minute, why am I doing this? And when you start having those thoughts, questioning what you're doing, that's a beckoning from your spirit to say, assess what you are doing. Make some different choices for yourself. When it no longer makes sense for you to do whatever it is, start going within and assessing what you need to do so you can bring balance into your life. Because I tell you, when I took that Easter shopping off the list, you talk about stress-free.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the Easter baskets myself, even when it came out of Christmas for up until I told my children there wasn't a Santa Claus. It was more so just making things fun for them while they went to church and learned the biblical behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Easter baskets, it had nothing to do with the real reason for the season for me. It was just about giving them some fun activities to do, right? But even it came a season for that. Like, what am I boiling eggs for?
What the eggs got to do with the crucifixion?
Maybe the garden. Maybe the Garden of Gethsemane. I don't know.
With no chickens around there.
I think, and I don't know. So y'all that's listening, when y'all come to listen, don't bury us over this. But just in my mind, our experience, I think the birth of never mind.
This is the
more I try to say,
I'm not even gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna keep that to myself. But it's definitely it's definitely corporate.
Yeah,
it's definitely retail residuals.
Yeah,
because God ain't had nothing to do with no Easter bunny, no Cadbury eggs. No Easter egg, no dyed egg.
This is not to take anything away from anybody else's belief. These are our personal feelings, our personal thoughts about them. If you have a different belief about it, different a stance on it, we invite you to stand on that. Okay, we're
Right.
just speaking from our heart of what we believe, and thank you for that, Miss Marcy. Because the thing is really when you start to have a nudge about things in a different way, that's your intern, your spirit nudging you. Think about what it is you're doing and why you are doing it. Are you really doing this for the reason for the season, or are you really cutting your ham this end of this meat off because it really needs to be cut off? Do you know why you're doing what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes to balance, literally it's about making better decisions for ourselves that doesn't have us stressed out. Because when those cortisol levels go up, especially for us women, because we're so stressed out, because we have no balance, it causes all kind of disarray to happen on the inside of us. Weight gain, stress, your hair start falling out, you can't sleep at night, all kinds
Mm-hmm.
of things
All the
happening
things, yeah.
because you're trying to do it all when you're not designed to do it all.
Yeah.
Tapping in to say, hey, do I really need to do this today? And there's sometimes like I'm one to wake up every morning and make up my bed every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally,
Same.
though, not today.
Right.
Not
Right.
today.
I agree.
Because I just
Facts.
like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm trying to rush and get this done. And I got 10 minutes to get out the door, but I
Yeah.
got to make up my bed. Do I really? Do I really have to make up my bed?
I feel you because I make up my bed, but then it, like you said, it's sometimes, and I will actually forget, but it's not often. And I will walk in and be like, "You didn't make your bed," like like the bed maker, police was gonna come and get me.
But even that, think about that. We're feeling convicted over a bed that wasn't made. Yes, there
Mm-hmm.
should be, well, yes, we've been taught to have order in our lives, right? But what world is going to end because we didn't make our bed up, Miss Marcy?
Right.
No,
Not one that I
ain't
know
nobody
of,
seeing
right?
my bed but me.
Right.
You and me both.
Well,
So
me too.
you too, right? All three of us. Listen, prioritizing what really matters. And I'll be honest. And this is how we set ourselves up of badges of honor. Because I take pride that my bed is made up every morning. And
Yes.
proudly say it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for you. Now what?
Right.
Right? Let me
Right.
turn this over to Miss Marcy. Miss Marcy, what you got for us today?
So listen, here's a little blurb about some balance. Achieving balance is often a dramatic process. As women adapt to changing demands of each area, many focus on intentional self-care, setting boundaries, and seeking support system to maintain their equilibrium. There's a growing emphasis on mental health, wellness, and the importance of rest, as well as acknowledging the true balance may look different
Mm-hmm.
for each individual.
Yes.
And with that being said, Clivia, I remember, and this is something that I was like, oh, I want to get to this day one day. You said you take the 21st
Mm-hmm.
of each month
Yeah. To do something just for me.
to, so she shut it. So there is her rest and acknowledging the true balance,
Mm-hmm.
and the way she does it is definitely different to the way I do it. My balance or my rest is I look at my calendar and be like, all right, I got like 4 hours in between this next event. I'm gonna come home and sit still for 45 minutes because that's all it's gonna do. My ADHD is real. And then I'm up
Mm-hmm.
doing something and then I'm out. So but you take the 21st. So and then I take mine how I can get it. And K Ron, how do you do your balance, especially with rest?
You know what? I don't know that I have a system, and I applaud Miss Clivia as well for having a dedicated day where she's doing some form of rest. But I do listen to my body. I listen to my body and say, okay, you've been on your feet for 16 hours.
Mhm.
You need to sit down and put your feet up somewhere and rest,
Right.
you know?
Mhm.
Or you've been on the phone for 4 hours talking to whoever about or what or a webinar or whatever. You need to give your brain a rest. And I
Yeah.
will turn on some music, some calming music. So it's more for me, it's more so of listening to my body and acknowledging it and honoring it with what it needs, as opposed to a regimented schedule. And that's because my life is such right now where I have the room to sit down and rest for an hour or two. I don't have like I got to be here, got to be there, blah blah blah. I
Right.
don't have that. So my life as it is right now allows for me just to listen to my body,
Yeah.
get what it needs, so I don't have to entirely shut down. So that's what I do.
I love that.
And that's what I love. True balance may look different for each individual.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of just us, the three of us. We have three totally different personalities, three totally different lifestyles.
Hmm.
But once we get in, and that goes back to seeking a support system, with the three of us being as different as we are still the support system that we need for each other.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I wanted to just chime in real quick. The certain things that you shared, Marcy, I had a few notes as well, but I'm going to kind of go in reverse. You mentioned, Karan, in regards to the season that you're in now, it's maybe having that 2 hours where you're not doing anything, right?
Hmm.
Listening to your body. Marcy, finding that 45 minutes of just cat nap, because sometimes those are the best 15 to 30, 45 minutes, right?
Absolutely.
The
Hmm.
scripture that I actually have for today is where'd it go? Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. For everything there's a season and a time for every matter under the sun. So the season that each of us are in now, perhaps that balance looked different 5 years ago. It looked
Yeah.
different 10 years ago. For me, it looked different 13 years ago, right? Or a little over 13 because of even being married and no longer single, and then the whole transition as we know. So there is a season for all of that. And I remember going to a conference the other day, and it was a women's conference, and one of the ladies asked, how do you guys find work-life balance, having a family, having businesses? And one of the panelists, she said, I don't believe there's anything such as balance. She was like, she likes to say work-life integration. And I started
Hmm.
using that because I'm like, it makes sense where sometimes we cannot find a balance.
Right.
Sometimes I try to figure it out, whether it's having a calendar on the wall, reminders popping up on the phone, um, asking the children, hey, remind me to do such and such. And still, that balance still seems, it doesn't exist.
Imbalance.
So, imbalance, exactly. So, I think integrating
Yeah.
that lifestyle. And
Yeah.
Marcy, I don't know if you were finished, but I wanted to flow with
I'm
something.
finished,
Okay.
yes.
So, a couple of things that you mentioned, and this is in regards to, again, we're talking about balance and juggling, but also integrating, establishing priorities, set attainable goals, budget wisely, build relationships, as you were just talking about, that support system, having community, study the scriptures, take care of yourself, as we were saying, right? Because as life, we say life is lifing, it gets busy, we don't take breaks. And again, certain topics that we spoke about, finding that time for rest, squeezing that in. Again, maybe a reminder on your phone. Today's a day I need to just shut down, right? Tonight's the night I'm going to watch a movie and fall asleep. Let the movie watch me. Um, this one is praying often, and just finding that integration where you can find such a balance. So I
Hmm.
definitely think it's vital for us.
It is. It is. I think balance, right? Juggling life's demands, and again, the word juggling, I don't subscribe to that word because I got it balls in the air and I need to catch them. Oh, that stresses me out just thinking about it. What if I drop one? You know.
Right.
So that integrating into your life, depending on the season you're in, because absolutely, Clivia, the season I'm in right now, I don't have any young children, so I don't
Mhm.
have their schedules to manage.
Right.
Um, Not working right now, I don't have a job or an employer schedule that I have to maintain. So
Right.
because of my season, I have the space to just, okay, I need to stay in bed a little longer this morning. I can do
Right.
it,
And
right?
that's okay. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
okay, right?
Right.
Or you know what? I'm gonna go to bed at 7 o'clock tonight and turn the
Hmm.
TV on and let the TV watch me
Watch
for a
you.
little while, right? I can do that in this season. Now, a season
Hmm.
is soon to come where I may not be able to do that. I will make the
Exactly.
necessary integration, right?
Hmm.
Of
Hmm.
rest, of rejuvenation, of
Hmm.
just giving myself whatever it is I need. And it may
Yes.
be like Miss Marcy, grabbing some time in between events to do nothing, to
Right.
do nothing, to take a nap or just quiet my mind. But I think, and with yourself, you have a dedicated day of the month. Now, I'm kind of thinking you need more than one day, but let me not tamper with your schedule, okay? Because one day don't sound like enough to me, but it's me, right? But we each have our own way, and as a depending on the season that we transition into, as long as we integrate that time into our schedule, no matter
Hmm.
what it looks like, that's what's important. Where we get into health challenges, where we get into being challenged with our spirituality, where we get into relationship challenges, where we get into where things are totally off balance is when we're not integrating as we should.
Yeah.
Right, our bodies are starting to fail us, blood pressure's up, other ailments come in, heart problems, because women, because we carry so much in our heart, we tend to have heart issues, right?
Hmm.
So but when we take the time to truly analyze, think about, pray about, meditate about what it is that we're doing, must I run to Starbucks every day to get coffee?
Not at all. Yeah.
But we get integrated into the habit because everybody walking around. No shame on Starbucks because I like Starbucks, but I'm just saying, it's Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Quick Trip, whoever coffee it is.
Hmm.
Do we need to go and get that every
Corner
morning?
store.
Corner store, wherever. You know you left the house 15 minutes later, but you're gonna stress yourself out
Right.
trying to run to get this. Or listen, let me stop by the grocery store before I go to work, knowing you already 10 minutes late.
Right.
What are we doing?
Hey, K. Ron, get out my business.
But this is how this because I'm guilty too, Miss Marcy. At one time, I'm guilty too. Listen, working from home, but knowing I got a meeting that starts in 15 minutes, the store is 5 minutes away. It takes me 3 minutes to go. See what I'm saying? Putting all this effort in. Won't you just sit your tail still and wait
Until
till
after
after
that
the meeting?
meeting.
But this is how we mindlessly put ourselves under pressure
Hmm.
because we're trying to do too much or do something that really doesn't need to be done. But because I got that on my mind, I'm going to make it happen, right? So I
Yeah.
got to rush across there, rushing people out my way. When, what? Do we really need to do that?
Yeah.
So, really assessing what we're doing, deciding if that really needs to be done. And I agree. I don't know that there is such a thing as work-life balance. I believe having a balance of what it is that you desire to do,
Hmm.
something gonna go lacking. But
Yes.
deciding what is that that's going to go lacking.
Yeah.
Not my health, right? Not my rest. Now I may have to get up maybe 20 minutes earlier to finish X, Y, or Z, but not my health. And that's what normally happens. Our health, our rest, our mind, whatever we need to serve our bodies holistically, typically that's what we put off to the
To the
side,
side. Yeah. So
right?
true.
But we'll stay up till 2 o'clock, knowing we got to be up at 5 o'clock, and then we don't go to bed because by the time you get halfway sleep, it's time to get up, right? Miss
Guilty.
Marcy?
Guilty.
Let me let you know.
Guilty.
Sis has to sleep. Okay.
Yes.
That is never my time. I did election day. I didn't rest, but honey, that next day I got in the bed at 7 o'clock. Now that's rest is something I gotta have. Either
Yes.
I rest or
Yes.
I need not to
I
be
love
around
it.
people.
Yeah. You know what? I
Right.
learned to do that. I did not make a connection that during my children's formative years, when after I put them to bed, my to-do list was so long that by the time I finished the to-do list, it was 2:30. Knowing that I got to get the first one up by 5:45, 6 o'clock latest, I didn't bother to go to sleep. I stayed up all night. Yes, ma'am, I did, Miss Marcy. I stayed up all
Yeah,
night.
it sounds familiar for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then,
as recent
I'm
as
glad
this
feeling.
weekend.
on a few occasions, I've done that in my children's formative years because I'm thinking, okay, I got them quiet. I don't have to deal with them. I can focus on dot,
No,
dot, dot.
it's
Now, okay, well, I
yeah.
got that done. Let me get this done too. Oh, wait, what time is it? 1:30. Oh, I can still do this. Da,
Oh
da, da.
yeah.
Looking through half-mast eyes on top of it, right? Because I'm so
Right.
sleepy. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes,
taking
you're
away
preaching
from
to the
my health.
choir right now. Because that
But
was me on Saturday,
that's
honestly.
but that's what we do, right? But not
Yeah.
thinking, you know what? Let me just go to bed early or go to bed now and
Yeah.
get up a half hour earlier so I can rest
Yeah.
as opposed to work and then rest. But then rest never comes because you've been up 24 hours,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And you got
Yeah.
to work through that day. And by the time you so it's just so counterproductive. So, ladies,
Yeah.
gentlemen, who's ever listening in our listening audience, thank you so much. First of all, for tuning in. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you subscribe, okay? With this hand. Make sure you subscribe, okay, to the AM affirmation space where you see we have topics like this. Of course, we have affirmations that we're about to share shortly, but we are here to talk about those things,
Mm-hmm.
about being women, about being parents, about being wives or former wives, about being working for someone else or our own business and work with somebody else or whatever your dynamic is. We're here to talk about that
That's right.
because there's so many things we're doing that just so counterproductive, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
know why we're doing. Mama did it,
Yeah.
grandma did it.
Cutting that ham on both sides.
Exactly, Miss Marcy, and we don't know why. It's
That'll be
time,
my next book. What's the
right?
size of your pot?
I like that. I like
Hey,
that.
I like
I
that.
like that. Really determining. Start checking in, y'all. When it comes to these things that we want to do, are we doing them because we truly, and within our heart of hearts, have a desire to do it, or are we doing it because everybody else did it?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know why they did it? Do we know why? And I guarantee you, most often we'll say, "No, I just did it because." So we're inviting you to get out of the just because
Yeah.
mindset and get into a mindset of thinking, does this serve me well? And if it doesn't, what does? So now you got to figure it out. And one might say, well, Karen, that's a whole lot of work. Last I checked, you are your first priority. It's time. It's time for you to act like it. I act like it here in this AM affirmation space where we have this channel, this podcast. Come
Yes.
back here if you need some reminders because oftentimes our topics will integrate to each other because we'll talk
Definitely.
about something in 3 different episodes from a different perspectives, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's just that important, that self-care, literally
Mm-hmm.
holistically taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're beyond the child rearing years, such as myself and Miss Marcy, Miss Cliffy is still in it, but she'll be in a minute, she'll be out of it, right? In a minute, she'll be out of it. So literally thinking about your life as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
How can you serve yourself better and integrate balance?
Yeah.
And sometimes even when the scales are not even, they still stay right there.
Yeah.
So individually, that scale is balanced. They are not balanced like this, which I don't think it exists, but it's like this
Yeah.
because one is a little heavier than the other, right? And that one that's a little heavier than the other is the one that commands our attention. So we can kind of bring it a little closer, maybe, but then something comes along and it's out of balance again.
Yeah.
So
Karan,
integrate.
sorry.
Go
Really
ahead.
quick, I wanted to define what balance is and what is
Yes, please.
equilibrium. I know
Mhm.
Marcy mentioned equilibrium earlier. Balance and even distribution of weight, because you just actually reminded me that I had that here, where the weight enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. So just like what you said, whichever one is the heaviest is maybe the one I need to focus on more,
Yes.
right? What is equilibrium? A state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced. So
Mm.
Yeah, I think that those are key. Those are
Yes,
definitely key.
absolutely. Well, ladies, listen, let's get to these affirmations, because in this AM affirmation space that we have here, we are definitely going to provide affirmations for ourselves and for our listeners that have subscribed. And please, everyone, make sure you like the video, make sure you share it, and above all, make sure you are subscribing. We see our numbers going up every day, and we thank you for that, for joining our community. So for me, my affirmation on balance is: each day I consciously choose balance, trusting that by nurturing my mind, my body, and spirit, I create a life of fulfillment, purpose, and this last part is huge for me: inner harmony. Any inner harmony. Ashe is right. All right, gonna pass this on to Miss Marcy. What's yours, girl?
So mine says, I create a space for my body, my mind, my body, my spirit to align, nurturing myself with care and patience.
Ooh,
I love
patience,
that.
love
I love
that.
that. All right. And mine's all, y'all heard that? That all aspects of my life are in perfect alignment.
Ooh, I like that word, alignment. That's
Yeah.
another
Not
show.
some.
Ooh, that
Another
just
show.
that word alone, that's another show.
Alignment does not mean everything's equal.
Right.
Alignment does not mean everything is equal. I have it appropriately placed in my life, giving it the appropriate attention it needs at the time
Yes.
that makes sense for me. So it's in alignment with what it is that I want for myself. Don't y'all forget about the Thursday Therapy podcast with Miss Marcy, y'all. Got to say that before we get out of here. She has a podcast with her bestie, her boo, she calls it. What's her name again, Miss Marcy?
Tyrese McAllister and Jamie Taylor.
Yes, it's a threesome they having over there, just like we have a threesome here,
Ooh.
right? The threesome they having over there. So make sure you check her out. Also, check out Miss Clidia, her chosen hashtag, her chosen story. She interviews women and she's looking for others to interview. So make sure you hit her up. If anyone ever have any questions about anything, and email us directly. That is my website you can go to. I have all kind of affirmation whisperer products out there, but I want to put this out there. So if anyone have any questions for us, please contact us a.m.affirmationsspace@gmail.com, and one of us will get back to you. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Ladies, we've done it again. We got another one in the books. With that being said, you guys, just a reminder, remember, you are your first priority. Now it's time. It's past time. Act like it, please.
Act like it.
Act like it.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.